History books often present the past as a curated gallery. Posed portraits, sanitized battlefields, clear narratives. But the camera lens is an unforgiving witness. It captures the raw, the unguarded, and the uncomfortable truths that time tries to erase. Welcome to the Obscure Archive. Today we unlock 20 fragments of the past that mainstream history tried to hide. Soviet Russia. A spectacle of grand absurdity. This isn't a painting, but a live chess match played with human pieces and horses in a St. Petersburg square. A bizarre display of post-revolutionary propaganda, where grandmasters commanded living armies on the cobblestones, blurring the line between game and reality. It looks like an Arctic wasteland, but this is Niagara Falls in 1911. The year the mighty roar fell silent, blocked by an unrelenting winter. Tourists actually ventured onto the ice bridge, a deadly frozen playground at the base of the falls that eventually melted away, taking its secrets with it. Before she watched over New York Harbor, Lady Liberty towered over the rooftops of Paris. This 1884 photograph shows her construction, a surreal copper giant rising amidst the Parisian chimney pots, before being disassembled and shipped across the Atlantic as a gift to America. Amidst a sea of conformity, in 1936, Nazi Germany, one man stands still, August Landmesser. While the entire shipyard performs the salute, he stands with arms defiantly crossed. He refused to salute because he was in love with a Jewish woman. A singular, silent act of courage, captured forever. The mad scientist archetype, personified. Nikola Tesla in Colorado Springs, 1899. He sits calmly reading a book as millions of volts of artificial lightning erupt around him. While history confirms this photo was a double exposure trick to promote his work, it perfectly captures the terrifying genius of the man who invented the 20th century. We've heard the legends, but seeing it is different. British and German soldiers, mortal enemies, posing together in no man's land during the Christmas Truce of 1914. Men who would be killing each other hours later are seen here smiling and smoking together. A fleeting moment of humanity before the industrial slaughter resumed. A surreal juxtaposition in wartime London, circa 1940. A deadly Spitfire fighter plane parked casually on the green grass directly outside the ancient Westminster Abbey. Sandbags pile up against the church doors. It is a stark reminder of how the front line had come to the very heart of Britain during the Blitz. You have seen the explosion of the Hindenburg, but few have seen the silence that followed. This 1937 photograph shows the twisted skeleton of the airship lying scorched on the field in Lakehurst. The sheer scale of the wreckage against the tiny figures of the rescuers walking nearby is haunting. It feels medieval, yet this occurred the same year The Wizard of Oz was released. 1939, the last public execution by guillotine in France. The chilling banality of the men in modern suits and fedoras watching the beheading on a city street reveals a darkness civilization had not yet shaken off. The moment before discovery. The rope seal on King Tutankhamun's tomb, untouched for over 3 millennia. Harry Burton's 1923 photograph captures the exact second before the ancient air was disturbed, and the so-called curse was unleashed upon the world. A doorway that was never meant to be reopened. London, 1952. This isn't just fog, it is a killer. The great smog that descended on the city was so thick that buses needed police to walk in front of them with flares. It claimed thousands of lives in mere days, choking the city in soot and turning the capital into a ghost town. Before modern plastic surgery, there were the masks. This heartbreaking image from 1918 shows a World War I veteran fitted with a facial prosthetic. Art and medicine combining to hide the brutal cost of trench warfare from a society that couldn't bear to look at the damage shrapnel does to a human face. We see the monument, but we forget the danger. Here, in the 1930s, workers hang by simple ropes from the nose of George Washington. No safety harnesses, just nerves of steel. Carving history into the Mount Rushmore granite with dynamite and jackhammers, thousands of feet in the air. Their faces are blackened by coal dust, but their eyes are still young. The Breaker Boys of 1910. Children who spent their days hunched over coal chutes instead of sitting in classrooms. This image helped change labor laws, exposing how the Industrial Revolution was fueled by stolen childhoods. It resembles a monster from a science fiction novel, but it is science fact. An early Victorian deep-sea diving suit from around 1890. Weighing hundreds of pounds, these pioneers walked the ocean floor in brass coffins, exploring a world as alien and dangerous to them as the surface of the moon. The Roaring Twenties and the futile war on alcohol. Here, federal agents in Detroit pour barrels of illegal liquor from a window during Prohibition. A literal waterfall of gin and whiskey cascading down the building, while the thirsty crowd below could only watch it evaporate into the gutter. A shadow cast over New York. The Hindenburg floats ominously close to the skyscrapers of Manhattan in 1936. A symbol of technological triumph that would, just a year later, become a symbol of fiery tragedy. The sheer scale of the Zeppelin against the city skyline is something we will never see again. This isn't a hill. It is a pile of bones. A mountain of American bison skulls in the 1870s. A single man stands at the bottom for scale. It is a chilling testament to industrial slaughter that brought a species from millions down to the brink of extinction, changing the American West forever. Step inside the Victorian underworld. An opium den in the 1880s, London. Hazy, cramped, and silent, where the forgotten souls of the city sought escape in the smoke of the poppy. These dens were places of mystery and danger, hidden in the back alleys, far from the polite society of the era. And finally, the Iron Lady before she was finished. The Eiffel Tower in 1888. Critics called it a useless monstrosity during its construction. Little did they know this skeleton of iron, rising from the mud of the Champ de Mars, will become the most recognized landmark on Earth. 20 frames, 20 stories revived. The past is not dead. It is merely waiting for the right light to reveal it. If you want to see more history uncovered, subscribe to the Obscure Archive. Tell me in the comments, which photo unsettled you the most? Until next time.